Hey writer friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Holly. I'm a writer aspiring to be a published author. And in today's video, I will be talking all about incorporating beta feedback. So this is the third video in my self-editing series. If you didn't see the other two videos, I will link those down below and up in the cards so you can check those out. And I'm sorry I wanted to come out with this video sooner, but I had been sick and could not talk and couldn't film this video. But thankfully I am feeling better. I'm feeling good enough to film. Now before we get into the video, there are two things that I want to talk about. The first one, if you haven't been following me on social media, then I have to tell you that I just relaunched my website. I am so excited, you guys, because I worked really hard on this. I used author Brittany Wang's website in a month boot camp and it was incredible. I'm going to have a video hopefully next week, if not the week after that, where I'm doing a website tour, and I screenshotted my old website, which is super cringeworthy right now compared to this new one. So I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison for you guys so that you could see the differences and the changes that I made. If you want to check it out ahead of time, and if you have not subscribed already, check it out at hollydavisbooks.com. I have tons of new freebies and checklists and things that I think you guys would enjoy. And the second thing that I am like super excited about is I got my first P.O. box mail. So I am just like, I was so ecstatic because I've just been getting like junk mail, and when I first set up my P.O. box, I got something from my sister, but I have not gotten anything from you guys. So I am so excited. I'm gonna open this up live, and I could tell because the stamps were like from Romania, and I'm like, I know exactly who this is. So this is from Timia Noemi, or Timmy as she goes online. So thank you so much for sending this. I am just super excited. Oh, so you can see like I hadn't checked my P.O. box in a while because it's such a cute little Christmas card. Oh, blessed, Merry Christmas. On the back there's like reindeer and a little sticker, so hopefully Timmy doesn't mind me reading this, but it says, "Dear Holly, you truly are Holly from heaven sent. Oh, you have such a shining soul, full of kindness, love, and beauty. Love your videos so much. May you have a blessed, peaceful, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, filled with love, joy, blessings, and everything good. With lots of love, and hugs, Timmy." Oh my gosh, that is so sweet. Thank you so much. I will be writing back to you, and you are such a delight as well. If you guys are interested in sending me mail, my P.O. box is always listed down below. So I didn't talk about this connection, but I am kind of using my incorporating beta feedback checklist cheat sheet that is already up on my website for my newsletter subscribers. And then, so this is like the black and white copy, and then I printed out, this is a quick little spoiler for my fourth video in this series, which is the line edits. So I am super excited to post this one, but that one's not up yet, but you don't want to miss out because I'm going to be having that available for you guys very soon. So incorporating beta feedback. The first thing that I want to talk about is just being kind to yourself, because it's hard to send your work out to other people, especially people that you know, haven't met in real life. You're going to encounter all sorts of different beta readers, so there are some that are harsher critiquers than others, and they may word things that are kind of harsh, but hopefully you have recruited good beta readers and critique partners where they kind of give you a compliment sandwich. So they say something good, they say a couple things that you could work on, and then they end with something good so that you feel positive about your work. You do want them to give you constructive criticism. You do want them to give you things that you need to work on. That's why you recruited them. But don't beat yourself up if they're finding things. Obviously, we're too close to our work to notice some things. So you may be thinking that your manuscript is really good, and then the betas give you all their feedback and they completely tear it apart. But that is also completely normal, and it's okay because their advice and their feedback and their suggestions for changes will help you piece it all back together. And remember, this feedback is here for you to improve your writing and to improve your novel so that you can get it published. If you watch my second video about beta reader prep, then you'll know that I just send everyone the whole manuscript. I don't do it chapter by chapter. So this advice I'm giving you about incorporating beta feedback is if you get the whole manuscript back at once. You can kind of tweak it if you get it chapter by chapter, but then this is just how my process is. And also this is more so for implementing developmental changes. My fourth video in this series will be talking about line editing. So one thing is that sometimes I can feel very overwhelmed with all of the feedback that I get, but I try to take it one thing at a time. So the first thing I do is I skim through everyone's feedback. What I look for are big picture items. So if someone makes a comment about, oh, this is funny, or oh, this is like a line change, okay, I'm not worried about that right now. I'm looking for, are they, making suggestions to the plot? Did they find a plot hole? Are they trying to fix this character arc? Is there something wrong with this chapter, the scene, the structure? I want to look at all of those things. So what I do is I usually either write that down in a notebook, or I type it up, or I even just copy and paste that person's feedback into a separate Word document. There's a couple different ways you can go about it, but I always organize it by beta reader. And then I note the chapter and the page number that they gave that feedback. So after I've done that for all of my beta readers, then I look for trends. Did like a couple people say that the beginning was slow? Did a couple people say that, this part was really confusing? I look at that, and those are the things that I'm gonna tackle first. But first off, you have to decide, well, what do you want to change? Yes, you are using your beta readers to critique your manuscript, but you don't have to take every single piece of feedback that they give you. Remember that these betas are just giving their opinions, and not everyone has the same taste, not everyone has the same style, so it might not work for you. So I always look at those trends first off and think, do I agree with what they're saying? Sometimes it takes a while for me. I have to kind of sit on the feedback and think about it for a while. Like, is this really something that I want to change? You can also enlist help of your alpha reader or critique partner and other writer friends that you trust to kind of gain feedback. Like, do you think I should change this? Another thing to look at with that item is how many beta readers agree with that. It's interesting though that I take a lot of things into consideration before I decide I want to change something. So just because one beta reader says something, I don't just throw that out, even if I have 6 other betas that don't say that, because that person may have some experiences and have a different perspective that none of the other betas or I even thought about. So for example, there were some things in TCC that someone brought up that none of the other betas did, but I really took that to heart and I did implement some of his changes because I realized that he was right about it. So don't discredit any one person's feedback. But then I also do look, if like 3 or more or the majority of my beta readers are saying something, they probably are right and I probably should change it. So even if you're not sure if you want to change something, just try to brainstorm ideas. Okay, if you change this, what would happen? What would I have to change? How much work would that be? Would it change something else in the story? Like would there be a cascade effect of changes? Like this thing is gonna lead to the change of another thing and it's gonna be a lot of work. But it may be a lot of work, but is it going to be worth it? Is it gonna come out better in the end? And then the last thing that I think about when I want to implement a change are, what are my no compromises? So that means, what are the things that I am not willing to change? So sorry if I'm in a different spot. I had to plug in my camera because the battery was about to die. In TCC, no one ever said this, but it was something that I knew I wasn't going to compromise on. So there's a male character in TCC who, in the typical YA, I know that he would actually be my main character's love interest, or there would be some sort of love triangle thing going on. But with the story that I was trying to tell, that's not who that character is to her. And he's actually more like a father figure, more like a mentor. And so that's something that I would never compromise on. If my agent wanted to make him the love interest, that's something that I would not do because it's very integral to the story. So think about that. Like, what will you not change? So once you've decided what exactly you're going to change, then you want to incorporate those changes. So of course, you want to incorporate those bigger picture items, your developmental changes, and it's up to you how you want to do this. I kind of change it up with every manuscript and every draft, just kind of based on how I'm feeling. But you can implement those changes in order from the start to the finish. You can implement them chapter by chapter. You can do out of order and just do each big picture change. So I know that's what my sister is doing right now. She's doing her self-edits for her first draft, and she is going through and changing to third person limited because she had some third person omniscient moments. And so she's doing all of that first, going through the whole manuscript instead of going, okay, I'll do, third person limited for chapter 1, and then I'll fix the dialogue for chapter 1, and then this. Like, that seems like a lot. So kind of be smart about it too. You want to kind of get in the zone and get in the flow of what you're changing. And so sometimes you want to just stick to that one item and go across the board. It's as simple and hard as that. I know it's kind of vague, but every manuscript is different and they're gonna have their own challenges that you're gonna have to work through, but you'll be surprised what comes out of the beta feedback. A couple miscellaneous things that I have on my checklist is that you can always email or call your beta reader and ask for clarification. Them emailing you back your feedback is not the end all be all. You know, there's this open line of communication, especially if they're your critique partner. You kind of have more of a working relationship and more easy flow, but sometimes it will help to, you know, talk it out on Skype or Discord or Google Hangouts or something, as opposed to email, because then you can kind of have more of a conversation about the changes that they were thinking about implementing. Another thing is that you want to update your outline. This is something that I did not do, and I learned this from, I think it was Kristen Martin. As I'm writing, and especially as I'm editing, I'm making changes, so I need to update my outline to reflect that, and that will make it easier for me when I'm kind of trying to organize my story and, you know, try to plan out the next novel. And please, 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 you guys, you must save your deleted scenes. I will even like save like a line that I'm gonna omit. So even if I'm like, okay, well, I'm taking out this scene, I'm taking out this character, I'm taking out this line of dialogue, I can use this line of dialogue later. And I've done that before. Like, oh, I really love this scene. Like, especially if you're killing your darlings, like, you know, there's like, you know, some flowery prose or just something that isn't exactly necessary for this part of the novel, but you want to save it for later. Maybe if it's not even for this novel, it can be for another novel. You want to save everything that you're going to delete. And then lastly, this is something that I asked for TCC. If you follow me on Instagram, you will see my Manuscript Mondays everywhere, but I ask my beta readers if I can take quotes from their feedback to use as promo for my novel. And I think that's a great idea, you guys. I've gained a lot of interest and a lot of hype for the Celestial Code, which is warranted because of the response of my beta readers. There is so much praise and so much positive response that I want to share that with others so that they get hyped for that too, and people see that, you know, there's something good here. But I always ask my betas first. They always say yes, but you do want to ask them for permission. All right, you guys, so that's it for this video. I hope that these tips were helpful for you. Please let me know in the comments down below what phase you are in your writing or editing process. And please let me know any questions you have about implementing beta feedback that I didn't mention. Again, this checklist is in my member freebies. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and hit that bell so you get notified when I post a new video. Please give this video a thumbs up to support my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.